Hello everyone, welcome to Marlin Chess Kids. Today I'll show you the game played by Zhongyi and Mariya, and the game complete in only 29 moves. And here you have a Trompowsky Attack, and the game start with the pawn to d4, knight f6, bishop to f4, then g6, and now knight f3 and d5, then e3, and black play a6. Then here the white continue to play with the Rxh5 attack, and the idea at this fifth move is to play a H4, H5 and capture the pawn and destroy the structure of the king side. And the white plan also to play a queen move up and then go for a long castling. So let's see how the game continue in the fifth move by playing a H4. After this, the black play bishop to G7, and this is the first 5 move with the white is slightly better in this position. So after this, the white continue to play H5 to attack the structure of the pawn at G6. And in the actual game, if you capture with the pawn G takes H5, then the white is still better and just can keep on develop the piece. Knight f3, and if you play knight f3, if you bishop to f5, then the bishop can just continue to develop, and this knight will be overburdened to protect the pawn, and the rook will be aiming to capture the pawn. So after h5 was played in the actual game, the black capture the pawn with the knight takes h5, and after this, here there's one very interesting move that the white play is to capture with the rook. So rook capture and the queen can capture back. So rook capture, the pawn capture and the queen capture back. So with this, you have the action for the rook and with the knight, and the position is equal with the white have many activity to attack. So after this position, the black play bishop to e6, and now one of the great move is the white play knight to f3 and have a very good composition for the sacrifice of the rook. So after this, the knight go to f3, and here h6 was played, and now the white play a long castling, and this is one of another great move. And here after this, the queen to d7, then bishop to e5 and trying to attack the bishop, and after this, the bishop to g4 and trying to attack the queen and capture the knight. Then after this, queen to h2 and f6 was played, and after this, bishop takes the pawn, and then the knight comes to c6, then bishop to d3, and the rook to c8 to attack the bishop, then bishop back to f4 and the knight to a5. After this, the queen go to g3 to attack the bishop and threaten to play knight takes d5. And here with a lot of idea to play. So after capture the pawn, then the queen can capture the bishop. And here the h5 to play to protect the bishop. And after this, the knight go to h4. And now we can push the pawn forward and attack the bishop, and the queen will capture the bishop if the bishop at g4 move away. And f3 is another strong threat. So after this, the knight to c4 was played, and after this position, the bishop capture the knight first, and now the rook capture back. Then f3 was played, and after this e5 was played. And here in this position, white has a disadvantage by playing the pawn takes e5. Then at this position, the black play bishop to e6, and after this the white continue to attack with pawn 4. So at this position, there's another stronger way that you can play is the knight to e4, and the knight at this one will able to capture the pawn and attack the bishop, because the pawn cannot capture as it's being pinned by the rook. So if the knight to e4, then if the rook back to c6, and if the pawn will capture the pawn, and if the bishop run away to f8, then the bishop can continue to attack, such as bishop to e5 and push the pawn for a check. Then the bishop can capture the rook. So the knight to e4, and the pawn cannot capture the knight. If you capture the knight, the rook will capture the queen. So the knight to e4 will be the best move. But in the actual game, the white play e4. Then the black move to d4. And after this position, the knight move to f5 and attack the bishop. So knight to f5 was played. So in this position, the bishop capture the knight and the pawn capture again. And now the white is strongly threatening with the pawn to e6 and attack the queen. After this, the black play a short castling, and now the pawn to e6 to attack the queen, and the queen move to c6. And here, after this move, the white is clearly winning. And after this, the white play a knight to e4 and keep on the attack. Back to this position, another simple way to play would be a bishop to h6, and the queen will attack the bishop and will be a deadly checkmate. So if the queen back to c7 and protect the bishop, then the queen will continue to move forward to g6, and then you bring the knight to the attack, and push the pawn forwards and attack the rook. And this pawn will block the queen from protecting the bishop. So this position idea will be more stronger and will be deadly and will be winning at this position. In the actual game, after queen c6, the knight moved to e4. Then the rook takes c2 and check. There will be no checkmate as the king can move to b1, and after this the rook trying to double up with the queen, so the rook c8 and was played, and after this the rook go to h1 and to keep on capture the pawn at h5 and trying to mate with the knight takes f6 and check the king, and then capture the rook and with the h5 checkmate. After this, the black play a bishop to the queen to b5, and after this position you have a mate in 3. I give a couple of seconds to figure out how the white can continue to play and mate in 3. Well, congratulations for those who found the answer, and for those who like to enjoy the show, here are the moves that the white play and check the king. The knight capture the pawn and check the king, and if the king move to h8, then the rook will just capture the king. So knight takes the pawn and check the king, and in the actual game the black play king to f8 and thinking you escape from the checkmate. Instead, the bishop to b6 will be just a simple checkmate with the bishop d6 and checkmate. And back to this position, if the king moves to h8, then the rook will just capture the pawn and check the king, and now the bishop block, then the rook will just capture and checkmate again. And with this, thank you.